Okay, thank you for staying with us. We have Damola joining us now. Finally, you made it to the studio.
Finally. The traffic was hectic. I was literally,
How many hours did you spend?
About 1 hour, 30 minutes. As at 7 o'clock, I was already, very close to the studio. So when I saw the traffic, I thought, okay, maybe it's just one of those things. Maybe there's something happening on the road. And then 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, and then I became tense. Like, what is happening? I have never been in, such a traffic before. It was really crazy.
Terrifying.
Yeah, very, very terrifying.
All right, let's go now to our hot topic. Now, Moroccan footballer Achraf Hakimi, the world has been rocked as his wife filed for divorce and demanded for half of his property. Now, wait for it. In a surprising turn of events, the court informs her that her supposed millionaire husband owns nothing legally, as all his assets are registered under his mother's name. We would like to hear your thoughts. Join the conversation and call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948, or you can tweet to us at TVC Connect using the hashtag YourView on TVC. Now, the issue is we cannot independently verify the story. So we'll just be having a conversation around reactions that are being generated with regards to that story. I'm sure we are on the same page. Ladies, when I had the story yesterday, I looked at myself. I said, Veronica, if it was you, what will you do? How would you react that your mother-in-law, I know she would not do that. I know, let me establish that fact. I know she would not do that, but if this happened to you, well, I did not go in for property in the first place. So I understand that what brought us together was love and the fact that we understood ourselves, we had conversations, we were open to one another. So what this tells me is that there was no openness in the first place. There was no sincerity of purpose in the first place. Now, this is my opinion because Honeypot is rolling her eyes. Okay, Olayemi is rolling her eyes.
I'm not. I'm just waiting for you to land, actually. I am.
I feel that there was no transparency between the two of them with regards to their finances. Because I recall, when I was getting married, my husband and I, we were having conversations as to how much you're earning, what you're doing with your money, and all of it. And there was no third party, so to speak. But with this one, that's what it tells me. There was no transparency or openness.
Yeah, so really, we don't really know how the whole relationship started. Yeah. But there could have been a case of suspicion from the mother's side. Like you said, we cannot independently verify the story, but analyzing and looking at how the story is unfolding, because the lady got married to the footballer when he was 19. Yes, so he was 19 and she was 31. And mothers, with how they feel about getting married to someone older, she could have probably thought, okay, this person is getting married to you at this point. Do you think that she's coming for your money? So why don't we, it's my own opinion, do you think she's coming for your money? So why don't we devise this plan to see how the relationship goes, in the next maybe 4, 5, 10 years, and then, just to protect you.
What's your business with his marriage?
Well, a mother will always be a mother. A mother would always be a mother. I'm not saying that
At 19, he made the decision to get married. So he that is making that decision, I am certain that he would have made up his mind. Now, this is me trying to play the devil's advocate, perhaps. Like, okay, I've thought about it, I've counted the cost, I know that I want to get married and I want to go all in. And then you're saying, well, Honeypot, I'm waiting for your perspective.
Okay, so yesterday when this broke, trust Nigerians now. We know they carry last when it comes to things like that. And, they were all over the place. Some people were clapping. In fact, a lot of people were clapping for the mommy's boys. Like, okay, it's eventually paid off.
Comparing him with...
Comparing him, in fact...
With a popular musician.
Yeah, with a popular musician, Burna Boy, you want to say, you know, I don't know how
that relates.
Yes. And in fact, they went on to bringing up another issue, and that is the issue of another footballer, Emmanuel Eboué, and, you know, somebody who earned 20 million, who had a career of 20 million pounds and lost everything to the ex-wife. And another person brought out another, you know, there was a tweet where somebody said that, I've always said it, this can be funny, but I've always said it that your wife is not your relative, is not a family member. You know, the family members are your mom, sisters, something.
So why did you marry her in the first place?
So I find this very, very ridiculous. Ridiculous in the sense that, I mean, let's break this down. As you said earlier, because you said I was rolling my eyes. No, I wasn't. I was just like, yeah, I agree with you. There was no trust in that marriage to start with, because it tells you, it shows you what has been going on in that particular marriage that I mean, let's just, and we're saying allegedly because, you know, what actually brought to this? What led to this, I meant to say. So what led to this? It was said that, it was allegedly said that he cheated. The wife and the children went on vacation. And he brought another person to the house. And that person
accused him of rape.
Accused him of rape, that he forcefully, had his way with her. And he has denied that. And now this person, so for me, it is not even that. This person waited because, yeah, you know that people change. And there are some people who actually go into marriage head on for some reasons, like, okay, you know what, it is just for the wealth.
It's a contract.
And I'm going to stay there for a while. And after a while, I'll file for divorce and I'll get half of what, you know, he has or something of that sort. So people actually have it planned out like that.
Yeah,
and sometimes people change in between. And then you ask them, perhaps they have their reasons. There are so many reasons to this. And yeah, it could actually tell you what goes on right there, especially with the fact that, because when you're married, you become one with your partner.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yes, because right now, it is so scary when I think about it and I think about the institution. I am not married, but I get scared when I hear about
stories like this.
Things. Do you understand? So where is the trust? Where is that thing of becoming one? You leave, the man would leave his parents to, you know, be with his wife. And then you're now saying that...
So cleave.
So you're now saying that the wife, all of a sudden, is not a family member.
How?
I would never understand that, because it is not right. And I see even some women react to this and say, oh, yes, because I expect my son to be this. I think it is not even right at all. I don't know who brought up these people, for crying out loud. How did we even get here in the first place?
That's the question.
Yes, how exactly did we get here? It is lack of trust. It is lack of, it is
the
just
right upbringing.
Yes, because
of values, understanding
values, because I do understand that. Yeah, I've seen cases these days that, you know, things are just moving mad, things are going awry. You see somebody, see the friend have a destination wedding, and then you see another person say, oh, you know what, I liked how it looked, and the person goes to look for a rich person and gets married, and at the end of the day, she has that destination, then she already, from the outset, have the plan B, that, you know what, if anything, I am going to. So I don't know, like it's all transactional these days, in fact, and
I think everything is transactional.
For some persons.
No, even so, I'm going to be a realist here.
All right.
Everything in life is transactional. It now depends on how you're transacting. That's it. Working here, your everyday job is transactional. You're offering a service.
Of course.
You're getting paid for it.
Of course.
You're getting paid for it. So everything is transactional. It now depends on what you're transacting, how you're transacting. And also regarding this case, what I think is, first off, lack of trust. If you can't discuss your finances with your partner, it's a problem. And finance is a very difficult conversation to have. Because it's not an easy conversation, because at the end of the day, it feels like I'm naked in front of you. Like when I start to tell you, oh, I earn 15 naira here, this is what I use it to, this is how I fend for myself. So if you can't talk about your finances with your partner, it's a problem. Because at the end of the day, you begin to hide a lot of things. Then another thing is, if you're going into a marriage, you should have your own money. Even if your man is going to take care of you and spoil you and everything, have your own money, because in this life, you have to be a baby girl on your own.
But this lady actually has her own money. She's an
actress.
Yeah, she's accomplished.
At the end of the day, regardless, I'm just talking outside of this, if divorce happens and you're not comfortable and maybe he's cheating and there are a lot of issues happening and you want to leave, you're not going to leave on the basis that you want some of his properties. You're going to leave because you want to live for your own happiness. Because at the end of the day...
But you have children.
You have, yes, so the thing is, he's going to take care of the children.
She probably filed for the 50% because, you know, she needs child support, you know,
Then
for
it
the
should have been
children.
clearly stated there that it's for the kids. Because the way it seems now, it's like it's for her. So for me, work for your own money. There was something someone said, and the person said, your job is your first husband as a woman. I felt it. I didn't think it through until some things will come up and you just be like, okay, thank God I can actually do some of these things myself. So first important thing in any relationship, I used to tell my friends, there are no rules to relationships. There are no rules because what works for you might not work for me.
Absolutely.
What works for you, aside from the grace of God and everything, the grace is very important. Aside from that, there are no rules.
But they are foundational rules.
Yeah, but then just like you said, someone did a destination wedding, you saw it, and you want to go and do a destination wedding, and you divorce.
When I say foundational rules, what am I talking about?
You have to love.
Conversation.
Yes.
Conversation with trust, with openness.
Absolutely.
From my own part, that's how I see it.
Are we looking at how divorce even goes in different climes? Because in some places it is
We are looking at it from the prism of Nigeria.
Yes. And, you know, because in some places, you know, because if you're using this as a case study, in some places it's like a 50-50 and then you know ahead of it that, okay, this is what it's going to be if it comes to this.
That's
so
why some persons sign prenup and all of those things.
So that it does not. And that is why, yes, let's talk about prenups because these days people are already thinking that, see, let me tell you, something of this sort can happen. And so they say, okay, so we're going to sign prenup. And so you're going to declare your assets before we get into the marriage. You declare your assets. We know what we have so that when we're going our separate ways or maybe in the matter of death or something, you already know what goes to who and that. And then there is another one that you take when you now start the marriage because perhaps you buy stuff together, you do stuff together, and it is in your name. All right, so in this climb, in this Nigeria, I'm not sure that a lot of people will be up for prenup because I've had a conversation with someone before. And that person was telling me about, you know, how she thinks that it is the love and friendship between her parents that has stayed with them up till this moment. And if somebody is asking her to sign prenup, that means from the...
Do we sign prenup in Nigeria?
So somebody...
We don't even have alimony. We don't even have a law that says that, okay, when you leave, you get something.
I'm actually telling you about
no need for that
somebody
prenup.
whose boyfriend wanted to propose and then brought up the issue of prenup. And so she's saying that, no, she's not in for that. And the guy feels that, you know, okay, so let me even break it down. So in their clique, they had a friend whose girlfriend came from a particular state. You know, they were just friends and they were hanging, and you know how people leave schools and they just come to party in Lagos. And so this person came to Lagos and this guy liked her, and from there they started dating, and she didn't return to school. She's been living in this because the guy is rich. And so at some point she felt that she wasn't doing anything. She was tired of the relationship. And so she asked the guy that, you know what, I'm not interested in this relationship any longer. I want to, find a life for myself. And so she asked the guy to give her a certain amount of money because according to her, I wasted my whole years staying here and not doing anything.
In the first place, did the guy ask her to stay? We'll talk more. We are continuing this conversation.
Yes.
We need to go on the when we go. We are going on break. When we return, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right, thank you for staying with us. We're still talking about asset declaration in marriage. And before we went on the break, Honeypot was giving us a story.
Okay, so I was talking about how prenup is now, I think some woke people in Nigeria are beginning to look at that because of this kind of situation. They don't want anybody ripping them at the end of the day. And so I was telling a story of a particular guy who's asking, he wants to propose to his, girlfriend. And so he's asking for a prenup, like, let's just sign this. And the girlfriend is not in agreement because she's saying that, you see, I look at my parents and I see that it is the love and friendship that they share, that as, that they share that brought them to this level and they're still friends. Okay, so how did this even emanate? So the girl was telling me, that is the girl that was affected, was telling me about what she thinks is the problem, because the boyfriend belongs to a particular clique where one of the guys was dating a girl, and the girl has come in from maybe Edo State to party in Lagos, and after partying, the guy liked her and said that she should stay back, and so she forgot school. She did not return to school, and she stayed in Lagos, and she's been living with this guy, not married to him, but they've been living together. But she does nothing, like she does not do anything for a living. She didn't go back to school. She didn't go to enroll in another school. And it got to a point she felt that this guy is not giving me attention. He goes to work, he does this and that, and at the end of the day, I'm just here. What am I doing with my life? And at some point, she said she wants out of the relationship, and so she said, I've wasted my time with you. You would have to give me money to get myself an apartment and to start something, since she was looking at, she can't go back to school. And the guy gave her 2 million. And so they've been living the island life now. She went out and she thought that, this 2 million is not even cutting it to, like, how much do I rent an apartment? How do I start a business? And went back to the guy. And the guy gave an additional 2 million, making it 4 million. And I'm sure she left, but I'm sure, I don't know, perhaps she's even miserable, because I don't know what 4 million can do for you right now. And so the other people in the clique feel that, oh no, we cannot afford this. And so the guy that I'm talking about, who's asking for a prenup, belongs to that clique. And so he is asking his own girlfriend, like, let's sign this. And so the girl is not in agreement, because it's like alien to her, like, as a Nigerian, how do we do this? But if you ask me in the whole sense of it, like, it looks transactional to me. Like, from the outset, you're already thinking plan B, this marriage might not work. I don't know, that is what I have. That is my own thoughts about prenup to start with, because it is not what is very, it is not rampant in Nigeria. If we're doing anything like that, then it's that we're going to be copying the West.
That's what we have been doing.
You get, so yeah. So I am saying here that in case anything changes, and I am thinking again, is that the right way to even enter a marriage? You don't get.
No.
Like, that is why I'm asking, is it the right way to enter a marriage? Because you're already thinking, you know what, this person might be in for my wealth, and so I'm not going to...
Why marry in the first place?
So why marry in the first place when you're going to get married to somebody that you don't trust? Because, of course, if you're going to marry somebody, I would think that when it comes to love, something must give.
Mm-hmm. Sacrifice.
Something must give.
Can I react?
Yes, you have to.
Yes. So reacting or answering that question, if that is how it should be done. I think, just like Veronica said, it's about transparency. We cannot deny that these things actually happen. People fall in love and fall out of love, then fall in love. I'm not married.
Understand what love is in the first place.
I'm not married, but I do know that, there are some times where, the love is hot, sometimes it blows cold, sometimes it's warm, and it's the friendship that actually, keeps it going. But if we are going to go into this relationship or this contract, because marriage is an institution, it's a contract, just like Dami mentioned earlier, like it's
transactional.
Yeah, it's transactional. We have to put everything on the table. How many kids do we want to have? What's our morals, values, finances? Okay. I don't know if you've been in a relationship whereby your boyfriend just randomly asks, okay, so what can I do that will make you stop loving me? What can I do that... No, those are real talks that you should actually discuss. So I think discussing prenup is actually very valid. It just saves everybody wahala, unnecessary
prenup
headache.
is alien to Nigeria.
I think that first discussing prenup, you must have money.
If you are now, you don't have assets, you're not paying anything.
Beyonce and Jay-Z, they have a prenup.
So you must have a certain amount of money for you to discuss prenup.
What are we looking at? Certain amounts.
he has to gara. That's what I say. Like,
He should have a war chest.
If you don't have a certain amount of money and you guys are starting together, what are you prenuping?
Haven't you seen stories of, okay, this is what we used to be 10 years ago, this is where we are now, can't we grow in
so
marriage?
as we are growing together, you are also showing both parties are growing together. It's not just one person growing. You are intentional about growing with your partner. So if you are investing in a way that your name is also on the document. If it is you are bringing 10 naira and he's bringing maybe 15 naira, or you are even bringing 17 naira and he's bringing 14 naira to that investment, make sure everything is properly documented. Your name is on everything. It's not Mr. and Mrs. Your view, Mr. Your view A, Mrs. Your view B. We are the owners of these things together. So you have to be able to be. So it's not like you slip off. You have to be smart. You have to make smart choices in everything we do. I'm not saying that love is not there. At times, love is blind. You can be in love so much that you forget about a lot of things. However, there's this love that when you experience it, you trust your partner. You trust your partner so much. So that's why I said there are no rules. That you trust your partner so much that you know that this person is my guy. This person would never leave me. This person, and you
She doesn't agree.
No, like
no, of course.
I'm saying that there's that love where you feel like this person is my person. This person would never. If 1,000 people are against me, this one person is in my
Stand
corner.
by me.
Exactly. There's that love. I want to experience that kind of love. But then, in this situation, there's culture shock if prenup becomes a thing in Nigeria. First off, there's going to be culture shock about it. That's why. But I'll say,
we have a caller on the line. We have Hassan on the line calling from Lekki. Hassan, good morning. Go ahead with your contribution. Hassan, are you there?
I knew what called for this conversation. It was that border issue. Let me make one thing very clear to all of you and to all of us in general. You see, I see no reason why people should be going into marriage with the intention of making something out of it, material something out of it. That is negative mindset. Go into marriage because you want to get married and have a family. Immediately, you have that notion in your mind that I want to make money out of this guy. That marriage is never a marriage, it's a business. And that is why a lot of men are very careful nowadays. And I can see why women in Nigeria today are much more concerned about this recent happening. It's because they don't want Nigerian men to take a clue from what that guy did. Whether we like it or not, people have already set their psychology for it. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. A man can be rich. The same thing, a woman can be rich. It's an opportunity. So why do you think that women are always looking out to a man that, look, when you are no more, I will have this. When you are not this, I will have this. Then what is my own? And in most cases, in most of these celebrating marriages, what you see is that we saw what happened to my country. We saw what happened to a lot of celebrities. A lot of women went into that marriage in order to claim something, to be part of their wealth. That is what is happening in the new world. And now, in our developing countries here, we are still having the same thing. You will never get to know what is happening until when the man is no more.
So Hassan, let me ask you. So would you say what he did was right?
Very, 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 very correct.
oh really?
Really?
Yes.
So why did he marry her in the first place?
He took a clue from what happened to his predecessors. Look, we knew what happened to Tiger Woods. He knew what happened to Mike Tyson. He knew what happened to a lot of them. So the guy took a clue from them. And he now passed everything without having an asset. He passed it to his mother. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. Why? Look, you asked me this question. Why don't you ask the question that why did the woman pray for divorce and the
what?
Why did she pray for divorce and part of the property?
Here was accusation of cheating in the marriage.
And rape.
And rape.
And rape.
Okay.
Hassan, are you still there?
All right, so
Right.
I'll continue from where Hassan.
This is,
you know.
I would like for us to quickly react to this. It seems a lot of persons do not understand the reason why the lady decided to file for divorce.
I actually talked about it when we
But
started.
from what Hassan just said, it's like he did not hear that aspect, that the Hakimi was accused of rape and cheating in the marriage. That was why she filed for divorce. And also, we must take note of the fact that according to the story, she is also rich. She's an actress.
She's an actress.
We mentioned
She's an
that
actress,
earlier.
yeah.
Yes, so you
She's
can
an
go
actress.
ahead.
So he said something. He said that, why is it that women are always looking for, you know, the man's property and all that? Do you know that it goes both ways? Because I would say that there are men these days, they are after what the women want and what the women have. And so they're not even going to date you if you don't have anything. How about the independent women who have been scammed by guys? Nobody is talking about that. And then when you're saying this, okay. Now, we've seen situations where a man will die and then the family members will come, collect everything that belongs to him, and then they will leave the woman and the children to suffer. When you knew that, you know, two people were in this and that you should leave everything to the family, to the wife and the children.
Together
they
for
work
it.
together. And I really do not want to believe that everything has totally gone awry. And I'll say this because I know somebody who was telling her story, and she said that herself and her husband have a joint account, and that is the only account that exists in that family. They don't have, oh, this is my own account,
Right.
This is your own bank account, and then you can save. They know when this person earns something, it goes into the account. When the other person earns something, it goes into the account.
Right.
And when they want to buy something, they want to purchase something, they tell each other. And that is trust. And so she says that they even discuss things, and they're working for their child that they have right now, because they discuss the worst, and they say to themselves, like, what if on a Tuesday afternoon,
All right.
all of a sudden, life
Because
happens?
we do not have much time, I want us to quickly tie things up and we'll move on. So he mentioned something that I'd like to talk about mindset. Before you get into marriage, ask yourself, why do I want to get married? There's even a movie on that. Why do I want to get married? What do I want? What am I bringing to the table in this marriage? What kind of conversations am I open to having with my partner? The marriage is about you. You can't be looking at somebody else, like you mentioned, that, you know, there are no rules. Yes, there are basic rules of having a conversation. The very difficult conversations. Talk about your bank account, what you have, whatever it is, what you're working on, how to build a relationship, because it is not just about you. It's also about the children you'll be bringing. You want to leave a legacy with them. You want to leave values with them that you can pass on in your generation. Because what we are seeing now, obviously, is that values have been eroded because we are not passing it on to our children. If you do not have values, you do not have anything to pass on. If your parents did not pass it on to you, what are you passing to your children? Understanding the basics of marriage. Why are you even going to marriage with a mindset of it could break up? Why are we not ready to work things out? There is nothing that is perfect. Understand each other, and then I believe you can work things out.
Well, reacting to
Well,
what
that's where
Mr.
quickly we need to move on.
Yeah, a quick reaction to what Mr. Hassan said about why do women always want to get something out of the marriage. Men also actually, because the law in the West says that the person who earns lower actually can file for a part of this. So it goes both ways.
All right.
Yeah.
Next, we move to our personality interview of the day. Stay with us. We will be right back.